Okay, can we all be real here? Like, does Wonder Woman think of the music in her head, or is the soundtrack really there when she's fighting? Do you think when she's doing stuff, she's just like, I feel like that's what's happening. Hey, you guys, it is MTR, also known as Matt the Rat, from Comics After Dark podcast at Rathouse, RATTHAUS.net. And I'm here to talk about the new comic books that came out today on Wednesday. First and foremost, Wonder Woman is the big thing, so of course DC would make Wonder Woman Steve Trevor Special #1. And it does really feel like this is going to continue on. Originally jumping into this, I thought it was a one-shot. But there is a little something that happened. So, in a nutshell, Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman go ahead and they take on some enemies. And it's really weird because they start talking about them having dinner with each other in a relationship. So they go into, are we gonna flirt with each other? Are we gonna go ahead and have a little sexual tension before anything happens? It was really weird for me to experience that conversation between Steve Trevor and Wonder Woman, but nonetheless it happened. After that, Steve Trevor tells Wonder Woman, hey, I have to bounce out, I have to do something, and I cannot tell you why, but please trust me. And they have such a great relationship since they could talk about sexual tension out loud that Wonder Woman doesn't question him. Steve Trevor goes off with Argus and decides to take on Saturna. And she is actually looking for the Fountain of Youth. The one thing I really did like about this story is that we have the ragtag team from the Wonder Woman movie actually implemented with Steve Trevor working for Argus in this. After all is said and done, I hit the microphone by accident. After all is said and done, Saturna ends up getting just a little drop of the Fountain of Youth. And at the end, of course, it has to say, the end, ? Yeah. So art was hit or miss. There were times where it was really consistent. There were other times where it looked really weird and goofy. You could tell where they're starting with Wonder Woman drawing and trying to work with the panel around it. But it wasn't too bad as a sight for sore eyes. It might be me over critiquing. You might not notice it, but if you pay attention hard enough, it will be there. Writing, Tim Seeley. It was okay. There was a little bit too much that was added to it that made it a little unnecessary. There were times where it really didn't need to explain the past or things that were happening that you are looking at straight on, but nonetheless, it was there. So Christian Deuce, he was the one that was behind the art. And like I said, do I suggest picking it up? If you'd like to, for a full review, go ahead and check out the podcast, Comics After Dark podcast. Next up, Youngblood #2, Chad Bowers and Jim Toe. So, this in a nutshell is just the beginning of Youngblood, a reboot. We have some new characters that are coming in and some original Youngblood characters. So I have a feeling this comic's really trying to just pull people in to be like, do you remember Youngblood? The Image movement from back in the day? Come back! And to me, it felt extremely mediocre. We have Delonte Murray. He's actually a how to be a superhero YouTuber that creates his own suit and starts fighting superheroes. And Youngblood ends up recruiting him and a couple of other Youngblood as well. So, can you still call it Youngblood with young but old being in it? Is it like young and old blood? I have no idea. Art-wise, it was okay. It wasn't the greatest, it wasn't the worst. There were very different panels going on at each moment. Because you'll have a panel where there's nothing but background in it. Then you have another panel that's probably 2 panels over, and it just has like that taupe color that artists like to sometimes just fill up because they're too lazy to draw the background. Was it disheartening? No, but just expect some of that in this. Writing-wise, it was okay. This comic felt average all over. It didn't feel like I was wowed. It didn't feel like it was the greatest thing in the world. It felt like, okay, we're gonna do a Youngblood reboot. Let's get into this. Were we asking for a Youngblood reboot? No, to be honest. Let's be real. We had a Youngblood comic come out maybe less than a year ago, and that lasted, I think, 1 issue, if not 2. So I don't know what happened to Rob Liefeld. I like your art to a degree, except for that Captain America thing you once did, but we all make fun of that, so what can you do? Do I suggest picking it up? If you're a huge fan of Youngblood, sure, go ahead, go pick it up. If you're not, then I see no reason to pick it up. Last but not least, one of my favorites this week that I read and is out now is called Godshaper. It's by Cy Spurrier. If you're a huge fan of X-Men Legion, he actually did a nice little thing with X-Men Legacy that seems to coincide with that TV show. So if you did read X-Men Legacy, you will definitely like this as well. As I love the artist's name. It's Jonas Goonface. That is his art name. I think I might legally change my last name to Goonface. That just sounds really fun. So Godshaper, in a nutshell, it's a dystopian future where people use gods as currency. So you have a little god that's hanging out with you. And the bigger your god is, the stronger you are. The tinier your god is, you're down in the poverty line. We have a person that is able to mend the gods, but he doesn't have a god, so he's considered an outcast. Nobody likes him, nobody cares for him. And now we have a god that has no human companion. He is an anomaly. So these two are now traveling with each other. They end up picking up an orphan because for whatever reason, the mother of the orphan was murdered by a whole bunch of people. We don't know why yet. But after he gets, our main character gets tackled in with the mob, basically he's like, I gotta get out of here. I'm done. That's it. And forgets that he has the orphan with him. So that is where it ends in this comic. It is a breath of fresh air. If you want something extremely unique, extremely different, something that's literally out of this world, go ahead and pick up Godshapers by Boom Studios. Of course, you guys follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, Comics After Dark. Click subscribe, wrong side. Click subscribe right down there if you want more comic book reviews. And if you want me to read anything, go ahead and leave it in the comment below and I'll be able to pick that on up and I will review it for you guys. Of course, for all your geek news, go to #show.com. Till next time, you guys. Later!